Listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you might shake you awake. You live in a world that never shuts up. Everyone's posting, shouting, competing for attention. Every scroll, every conversation, someone's fighting to be heard. You're told to stand out, to speak louder, to push harder. But the truth, that noise is poison. It's desperate energy dressed as power. And maybe, if you're honest, you've been caught in it too, proving, performing, pretending. But listen closely now. Real strength doesn't make noise. Real power doesn't scream. It commands quietly. It walks into a room, and the room adjusts. No drama, no noise, just presence, the kind that can't be ignored, the kind that speaks louder in silence than most do in speeches. That's the force you've forgotten, the silent power, the one that Stoics live by, and the one that modern chaos has buried under ego and noise. Look around you. Everyone's chasing attention like it's oxygen, louder voices, bolder claims, constant noise. But what happens when you stop competing with the noise? You start hearing something deeper, your own clarity. That's where the true warriors live. They don't chase validation, they radiate certainty. They don't explain themselves, they embody discipline. That's the paradox the Stoics understood long before social media existed. The less you crave attention, the more power you hold. Marcus Aurelius didn't shout his wisdom, he lived it. Epictetus didn't beg to be respected, his calm demanded it. You don't need to scream to be seen, you need to control your mind, your emotions, your reactions. Because the loudest person in the room might win the crowd, but the calmest one wins respect. And that respect, the quiet kind that doesn't need applause, is worth more than any spotlight. The moment you realize this, the battle changes. You stop fighting to be heard. You start fighting to stay grounded. You've seen it before. A room full of chaos, tempers flaring, voices clashing. Yet one person stays still, not because they don't care, but because they've mastered themselves. That's presence, that's control, that's power. You can feel it when someone owns their calm. Their silence cuts deeper than shouting ever could. You see, people mistake volume for strength, but real strength is invisible. It's in the man who doesn't flinch when he's disrespected. It's in the woman who stays composed while others panic. It's in the warrior who knows his energy is sacred and refuses to waste it. The Stoics lived through war, betrayal, and loss, yet they stood unmoved, not cold, not numb, but unshakable. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. That means your peace, your confidence, your control, all of it begins inside you. The world can scream, insult, tempt, distract, but it can't touch a man who governs himself. That's the goal, to become untouchable from within. Power isn't found in noise or dominance. It's found in mastery, mastery of mind, emotion, and action. Every great Stoic understood this truth. The mind is your battlefield, and whoever controls it wins. You can conquer cities, earn money, impress crowds, but if your emotions rule you, you're still a slave. The world wants you reactive, outraged, distracted, emotional, because that's how it controls you. But when you pause, when you breathe, when you respond instead of react, you flip the game, you stop being predictable. You become dangerous in the best way. Not with aggression, but with composure. The silent man can't be manipulated. The disciplined mind can't be provoked. That's why Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being so centered that no storm can pull you off course. Every day is training, every insult, delay, failure, a chance to build your inner fortress. And when you finally master that silence within, you'll realize that's what real control feels like. There's a war going on inside you every single day. The battle between impulse and intention, between emotion and logic, between weakness and will. Most people lose this war before they even notice it's begun. They react to every feeling, chase every distraction, drown in every setback. But not you, not anymore. You're here to learn how to fight differently. You don't fight the world. You fight the noise inside your own head. You train your mind to obey your purpose, not your emotions. That's what the Stoics did. When others panicked, they breathed. When others complained, they adapted. When others broke, they grew sharper. The war within never ends. But that's not a curse. It's your training ground. Every trigger, every insult, every failure is a chance to practice dominance over yourself. That's where strength is born, not in comfort, but in control. You want to change your life? Then master this inner war, because once you conquer yourself, nothing outside can conquer you. Let's be clear, emotions aren't the enemy. Losing control to them is anger, fear, jealousy, pride. These feelings can destroy you or drive you. Depending on who's in charge, most people are prisoners of their own reactions. They get angry and lash out. They get anxious and freeze. They get jealous and spiral. But you're learning to rule your emotions like a king rules his kingdom. You hear the noise, but you don't bow to it. You feel the fire, but you don't let it burn you. This isn't suppression, it's command. When someone insults you and you stay calm, that's not weakness, that's dominance. When chaos hits and you stay grounded, that's not indifference, that's mastery. The man who controls himself controls the outcome. Remember, he who angers you controls you. Don't hand over your power so easily. The next time your emotions rise, don't run from them, rule them. Breathe, pause, decide. Every calm response is another rep in the gym of self-control. The world praises loud confidence, but real confidence doesn't need a stage. It's quiet, it's grounded. It's the look in your eyes that says, I know who I am. You can't fake that kind of energy. It's built from keeping promises to yourself, from doing hard things when no one's watching. That's why people respect calm men, because calm means control. Control means certainty, and certainty means power. The loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure one. They speak to convince others. You act to convince yourself. That's your advantage. You move in silence, and silence creates curiosity. People start wondering, what gives this person so much peace in a world built on chaos? The answer is discipline, stillness, focus. The man who doesn't need attention owns the room because attention comes to him naturally. So stop broadcasting your moves. Let your progress speak in whispers. Let your results do the shouting. The quietest energy is always the most respected. You don't need to talk to make an impact. You just need presence, that silent authority that makes people listen before you speak. It's not magic, it's alignment. When your mind, body, and purpose are in sync, your energy shifts. You walk differently. You breathe differently. People feel it. That's why true leaders don't demand attention. They command it without effort. Presence is what happens when you stop trying to prove yourself and start living by principle. It's your posture, your calm, your focus. It's how you stand when others break. The Stoics embodied this. Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Meaning, don't talk about your values, be them. When you stop filling every silence with words, you start to own the silence. Most can't handle quiet because silence exposes them. But not you. You use silence as your weapon. The world rushes, you remain still. The world argues, you observe. And that's when you win, quietly, completely without saying a word. There's a rare kind of strength in the man who can stay silent when provoked. Anyone can explode, anyone can argue. But it takes real power to remain composed when your ego screams for revenge. That's the kind of control that separates the strong from the weak. Restraint isn't weakness, it's weaponized patience. It's the discipline to choose your timing instead of reacting to theirs. The Stoics knew this truth. You can't control what others say or do, but you can always control your reaction. And that reaction defines your legacy. You want to know what real dominance looks like. It's the calm man in the middle of chaos. It's the leader who listens while others shout. It's the warrior who doesn't waste energy proving what he already knows. Remember this. A lion doesn't respond to barking dogs. He walks forward, unmoved, because he knows who he is. That's you now. Measured, grounded, focused. You no longer chase every insult. You outlast it. That's real control. Your peace is your power, and the moment you let someone disturb it, you've surrendered control. Most people spend their lives reacting to insults, opinions, bad days, delays. They let every small thing pull their emotions in every direction. That's chaos. But when you learn to stay unmoved, when your inner world stays calm no matter what happens outside, you become unstoppable. The Stoics called this apatheia, not apathy, but mastery. It means nothing owns you, not praise, not criticism, not failure, not success. You stop being tossed around by life and start steering it. That's why people respect composure, because it's rare. Anyone can be confident when things go right. True strength is being calm when everything falls apart. So, the next time something shakes you, remember, you decide if it breaks you, breathe, watch the emotion rise. but don't let it lead. Let storms come and go. You stay still. Because the unmoved mind, that's the most dangerous weapon on earth. You've been trained to care about everything: opinions, outcomes, attention, validation. But the more you cling, the weaker you become. Real freedom starts when you stop being owned by things outside your control. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It means you can lose without breaking, win without boasting, and keep moving no matter what. The Stoics live by this truth. Focus on what's within your control. Release what's not. When you stop chasing everything, your energy sharpens. You become lighter, faster, deadlier in purpose. Imagine walking away from drama without needing to explain. Imagine being calm when everyone else panics. That's not indifference, that's dominance over attachment. Seneca said, "He is a great man who uses earthenware as if it were silver." Meaning, luxury or simplicity, praise or rejection, nothing changes who you are. You are steady, detached, free. Practice that daily. Stop chasing, start choosing. You'll feel the shift, that unbothered. Silent strength only the disciplined ever taste. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strategy. The world will constantly test you with things designed to steal your focus, arguments, jealousy, comparison, ego, but you can't fight every battle and still win the war. A disciplined warrior knows when to walk away. Not out of fear, but out of control. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You do your best, you give your effort, and then you release the outcome. That's power. That's freedom. The moment you stop needing everything to go your way, life stops controlling you. People who can't let go stay enslaved by what they can't change. But when you release it, the opinions, the results, the past, you move forward with peace. You're lighter, sharper, deadlier in focus. So, when life pushes you to react, to chase, to obsess, remember this. Every time you let go, you take back control. The strongest hands aren't the ones that grip tight. They're the ones that know when to open. You waste years trying to manage things that were never yours to command. People's opinions, outcomes, timing, luck. That's why you feel drained. The Stoics taught one principle that can rebuild your entire life. Control the controllable, release the rest. When you truly accept this, peace becomes your default. You stop arguing with reality. You stop fighting storms that were never yours to stop. Instead, you use your energy with precision on your actions, your habits, your mindset. That's where real influence lives. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, and death, yet wrote calmly, "External things are not the problem. It's your judgment of them." Think about that. It's never what happens that breaks you. It's what you tell yourself about it. So change the story. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I use this?" When you own your perception, you own your world. Control your mind, and everything else bows to it. Every day, life will hand you 1,000 chances to react, to overthink, to defend, to prove. But discipline means refusing to give your energy to what doesn't deserve it. Detachment is not about caring less. It's about caring smarter. You stay focused on what you can shape, not what you can't. Most people tie their happiness to results, but the Stoic ties his peace to effort. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you rise above it. You can't control if you win today, but you can control if you show up. That's the real edge. You stop moving from emotion and start moving from intention. When others rush, you wait. When others beg, you build. Detachment gives you that calm authority, the kind that can't be shaken by success or failure. So, when something slips from your hands, let it. If it was meant to stay, it would. You don't chase outcomes anymore. You create them, then walk away without fear. Stop waiting to feel ready. Motivation is emotional. It fades the moment things get hard. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It simply acts. It shows up when it's raining, when you're tired, when no one claps. That's why it's the foundation of all Stoic strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Is at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." He didn't wait for inspiration, he demanded action. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is fire. It burns quietly, relentlessly, until the job is done. Most people chase moods. The Stoic builds habits. You don't rise because you feel powerful. You rise because it's your duty. Every repetition of discipline carves resilience into your soul. Every early morning, every quiet victory, every moment you act without applause, it compounds. Discipline is freedom disguised as structure. Once you make it your nature, you stop chasing progress, you become it. Discipline doesn't announce itself. It doesn't brag, post, or boast. It just builds, quietly. The most dangerous people in the world are the ones who work in silence while others talk. No noise, or no drama, just consistent execution. That's how character is forged, in the unseen hours, when nobody's watching and nobody cares. Every early morning you show up, every distraction you reject, every temptation you overcome, that's the foundation of unshakable power. The Stoics didn't chase motivation or praise. They built routines that shaped who they became. You must do the same. Create a structure that protects your goals from your moods. Build habits that serve your higher self, not your impulses. The loud will burn out. The consistent will rise. So, stop telling the world what you're going to do. Show it, slowly, quietly, relentlessly. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being loyal to your purpose, even when no one notices. That's how greatness grows, in silence. There's a kind of respect that only consistency earns. You can't fake it. You can't talk your way into it. You have to bleed for it quietly. Every day you choose discipline over comfort. You're building something unbreakable, a reputation with yourself. That's what most people miss. Discipline isn't about proving anything to others. It's about proving to yourself that your words still mean something. When you say you'll wake up early, and you do, that's self-respect. When you say you'll train, and you follow through, that's integrity. The Stoics called this arete, excellence of character. It's not flashy, it's not emotional, but it's rare. You want power. Build it in private. Let the results speak in public. Stop looking for instant recognition. Start collecting invisible victories. Because one day, the world will notice. Not because you shouted, but because you never stopped. Remember, motivation gets you started. Discipline finishes the war. Most people chase intensity, big goals, loud starts, dramatic declarations. But power doesn't come from chaos. It comes from precision. Discipline is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, over and over, with focus sharper than emotion. You don't need fireworks. You need repetition. The Stoics understood this. They didn't rely on energy. They relied on order. Marcus Aurelius didn't conquer because he was inspired. He conquered because he was structured. Every day, same practice, same reflection, same inner command. That's what wins wars, not hype. Not luck, not emotion. You want control of your life. Then make your actions predictable, even when your emotions aren't. Consistency is the quietest rebellion against chaos. So, while everyone else is chasing new thrills, you master the basics. You build momentum that doesn't depend on moods. That's the secret weapon of warriors and Stoics alike. Precision, patience, persistence. It's not exciting. It's unstoppable. Powerful people don't talk endlessly. They speak with purpose. In a world addicted to noise, your silence becomes your strength. Most talk to be noticed. Few speak to create impact. You must become one of the few. Every word you say should carry weight. Every silence should demand respect. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, he said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." Let that sink in. The words are currency. As and the undisciplined go, broke spending them carelessly. The wise conserve them, sharpen them, and release them only when necessary. The more you speak, the less people hear, but when you speak less, every word becomes a strike, deliberate, precise, impossible to ignore. You don't argue for validation. You observe for understanding. You don't speak to fill space. You speak to direct it. That's how presence is built. Through verbal discipline, say less. Mean more, let your silence make the noise. Every time you speak, you reveal your mind. Weak words expose chaos. Strong words expose clarity. That's why you must treat speech like a weapon. Clean it, sharpen it, and use it only when it serves your purpose. Don't speak to impress, speak to impact. The Stoics understood that speech is energy, and wasted energy is weakness. A single well-timed sentence can shift a room. A single pause can show more confidence than a paragraph ever could. When you speak, slow down. Let silence walk beside your words. Let people feel your calm before they hear your voice. The world is full of noise. Don't add to it. Be deliberate, be measured, be surgical. Most people talk to prove they're right. The wise speak to build what's true. Every word you drop should carry the weight of discipline. truth, and restraint. When you master your tongue, you master your temper. And when you master both, the world listens. Stillness isn't laziness, it's control. It's the ability to pause in a world addicted to motion. When you master stillness, you master the space between stimulus and response, that sacred gap where choice lives. The Stoics trained for that moment. They knew chaos will always surround you, but it can't touch you unless you let it in. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what matters, without noise, without rush, without fear. It's the eye of the storm, calm, unshaken, aware. You don't need to react to everything that moves. You don't need to answer every attack. Let others waste energy on noise. You conserve yours for precision. That's why people who are still radiate strength, because peace in the middle of pressure looks supernatural to the undisciplined. When your mind is still, your decisions cut sharper, your presence grows heavier, and your enemies, they panic, because nothing terrifies chaos more than a man who stays calm in it. You are not what happens to you. You are how you respond. That's where your true character lives. Anyone can act composed when life is easy, but pressure reveals the truth. The Stoics believe that every event is neutral until you assign it meaning. You can't control the storm, but you can control your posture in it. That's what separates the average from the unbreakable. When you respond with calm instead of rage, strategy instead of impulse, wisdom instead of ego, you're rewriting the pattern of your past. You're no longer a slave to circumstance. You're the architect of response. Viktor Frankl said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose. That space is everything. It's your freedom, your growth, your dominance. Train yourself to live there. When insulted, pause. When frustrated, breathe. When provoked, stay still. Every second of restraint is a declaration of power. You are untouchable when you rule your reaction. Real composure isn't built in comfort. It's forged under fire. Anyone can act calm when life flows smoothly, but your true power shows when everything burns. When chaos hits, most people collapse. They yell, panic, blame. But the Stoic breathes, the Stoic observes, the Stoic decides. That's control. The ability to think clearly while the world loses its mind. The more pressure you face, the sharper your calm must become. Because when everyone else is reacting, the one who remains steady leads. Calm isn't weakness, it's leadership under fire. And make no mistake, your response in those moments defines your reputation. People may forget your victories, but they'll never forget your composure when things went wrong. So when you're tested, when disrespect, failure, or pain hits, don't meet it with panic. Meet it with posture. You are the still point in a spinning world. The more chaos rises, the more silent you become. That's command, that's power. There's a deeper strength that most people never reach, the strength of restraint. Anyone can throw a punch, shout back, or prove a point. It takes a higher power to hold back when your pride is burning. That's not weakness, that's mastery. The Stoics understood that losing your temper means losing yourself. Every time you react emotionally, you hand your power to the other person. But when you hold your ground, when you stay calm, deliberate, unshaken, you keep control. Restraint is the art of choosing long-term victory over short-term satisfaction. It's the difference between reaction and strategy. Think of it like this. Every insult is an invitation to chaos. You don't have to accept it. Let fools waste energy proving themselves. You conserve yours, because your peace is worth more than your pride. Silence isn't submission, it's selection. You're choosing the higher ground, and the man who chooses control over impulse wins every battle, whether he fights or not. The modern world worships speed, noise, and reaction. But that's exactly why stillness and restraint are your superpower. You operate differently now. You don't rush, you don't chase, you don't beg. You move with purpose, not panic. That's what gives you the Stoic's edge. While others drown in emotion, you breathe while others talk. You act while others seek validation. You build truth. The Stoic isn't untouchable because life is easy. He's untouchable because he trained for the storm. You too must train your mind daily, not to avoid pressure, but to perform inside it. Remember, calm is a skill, not a mood. You don't wait for peace, you become it. The world will always test your patience. Provoke your ego, attack your control. Let it. That's your training ground. The goal isn't to avoid chaos, it's to remain composed within it. That's how you become dangerous. Not louder, not harder, but calmer, clearer, and completely in command. The true warrior doesn't fight for dominance. He fights for control, not control over others, but over himself. Every reaction you master, every emotion you command, every impulse you tame, that's a victory greater than any battle outside you. The Stoics didn't chase power. They became power through self-governance. They understood this. If you can't rule your own mind, you'll always be ruled by the world. The warrior of control doesn't need validation, doesn't need revenge, doesn't need noise. His power speaks through presence. When he walks into a room, people feel his calm, not his chaos. That's authority, earned through silence, discipline, and restraint. You build this strength one decision at a time, choosing patience over pride, clarity over anger, consistency over comfort. Every time you hold your composure, you sharpen your blade. You are both the weapon and the wielder. That's the Stoic path. Quiet, grounded, unbreakable. Adversity doesn't destroy you, it exposes you. When life hits, it shows you exactly where your discipline ends. Most people crumble under pressure because they've built no foundation. But the Stoic sees adversity as a mirror. It reflects their weaknesses so they can forge them into strengths. When something goes wrong, don't complain. Study it. Ask yourself, what did this reveal about my control, my patience, my focus? Every difficulty is feedback. Every setback is a classroom. The world isn't against you. It's training you. The storms aren't punishment. They're practice. If you avoid them, you stay soft. If you face them, you become forged. So stop asking for an easier life. Ask for a stronger mind. The Stoics didn't pray for comfort. They prayed for resilience. They didn't wish for calm seas. They learned to sail through storms. When adversity strikes, don't break. Observe, adapt, rise. Every challenge is sharpening your silence into strength. You don't grow in comfort, you grow in fire. Every hardship, every failure, every betrayal, it's fuel. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of fate. Not just accepting what happens, but using it, whatever life throws at you. You turn it into strength. Pain becomes awareness. Rejection becomes focus. Loss becomes wisdom. Nothing is wasted. That's how the great ones rise. They burn, but they don't collapse. They use the flames to forge their next form. You must learn to do the same. When something hurts, don't run. Sit in it or study it. Ask, what is this pain trying to teach me? Because if you can look your pain in the eye without flinching, it loses its control over you. The disciplined man doesn't seek an easy path. He seeks a worthy one, and the worthy path will demand everything. Your patience, your pride, your persistence, but if you endure it with purpose, the fire that tried to destroy you will refine you instead. All this time, the goal was never perfection, it was solidity. To build a foundation inside you that doesn't move when the world does. The Stoics called it eudaimonia, living in alignment with your highest self, regardless of circumstance. You don't need calm surroundings to be calm. You don't need approval to feel worthy. You don't need victory to know your value. You are steady because you built yourself that way, through discipline, through silence, through fire. This is what it means to have an unshakable core. You've trained your mind to stay level when others tilt. You've trained your heart to stay pure when others corrupt. You've trained your will to keep going when comfort calls. That's the essence of Stoic power, to be your own anchor in a world addicted to drift. So when chaos hits, then you don't panic, you plant your feet. Breathe deeply, and remember, nothing external can move what's unmovable within. This is where your transformation begins. Not with noise, not with applause, but with quiet conviction. You've walked through the lessons. Emotional control, presence, detachment, discipline, restraint, and reaction. These aren't theories, they're weapons. You now understand what the Stoics lived and died by. Real power doesn't shout. It radiates. The world will keep yelling. Let it. You will walk calmly through the noise. Grounded, deliberate, unstoppable. People won't know why they respect you. They just will. Because calm is louder than chaos. You are no longer chasing control. You are control. You no longer react to life. You direct it. Every silence you hold, every emotion you master, every challenge you overcome, it all builds the quiet thunder within you. That's the silent force. That's Stoic power. So move with discipline. Speak with intention. Stand like stone when storms rise. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs calm warriors. Be one of them. Before you scroll away, stop and ask yourself, are you living with control or just reacting to life? The silent force isn't something you watch. It's something you build. Every choice, every pause, every act of discipline starts shaping who you become. Don't just feel inspired, act inspired. Change your habits, master your emotions, take command of your mornings, your mindset, your mission. That's how transformation begins. One quiet, powerful decision at a time. If this message hit you, share your thoughts below. Tell me what part of this resonated with you most, and what step you're taking today to strengthen your mind. Your journey starts now. Thanks for listening. And remember, this is Momentum Mindset, where we don't chase motivation, we build discipline.